For this lesson, we are going to be using masking fluid. Masking fluid's really good for if you want to block out any areas that you don't want your alcohol ink to cover. So what I'm using here is it's by Winsor Newton. It's art masking fluid. Generally it's for watercolors, but you can use it for alcohol inks too. This is a medium. You can also get heavy and light body as well. So it's basically removable liquid mask for paper. So we're using a synthetic paper, which is for specifically alcohol inks. This is Nara paper. Our tools we're going to use are this handy liquid mask applicator, or we can also use a paintbrush as well. I'll show you both. We're also going to use some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, in these little dispenser bottles. We're going to play around with some colors, and those colors are going to be mermaid and which one's this one? Flamingo in the Ranger series. And I'm also going to add in some of this nice Panada brass just for fun. Okay, so those are what we're going to be using. Always make sure you line your line and protect your surface with some parchment paper, a plastic or glass liner, some paper towels for absorbency, and we're ready to go. So first thing you want to do is just kind of do not shake your masking fluid. Just kind of give it a bit of a roll, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. If you shake, it gets a ton of bubbles in it, and then it's really difficult to lay down. So child walks and got some crusties coming out. So with the masking fluid, if you have an applicator like this, it will you can just kind of either narrow it or make it larger. So this is narrowing it, or you can make it larger. I had it to its largest. You see how that moves? So I'm going to make it a little bit narrower, because I know with my paintbrush I'm going to get some thicker lines. So let's play around with the lines. So I'm just going to dip it in here, and you can see how, oh, there's some clumps in here. You can see how it kind of just sucks it up from there, and then all we have to do is just lay down our lines. Again, lay down our lines. Let's put some clumps on it. So that's with that applicator. Nice, very uniform lines. Just going to clean that off. And then just show you with the paintbrush. Paintbrushes are just as easy, so you don't have to run out and get the applicator. It will make a cleaner line, but it just depends on how steady you are. So let's kind of continue with the circle theme. And there you go. See, this is very much thicker. So I can play around with thickness all I want. I can make this super thick, and anywhere the masking fluid is, the alcohol ink will not go. Make sure it's like thick enough that you have it kind of all bonds together. Right, maybe make a couple little actual circles. There we go. Maybe another one over here. Right. And we got to do everything in 3, so let's make a baby one right here. Okay. I have a bit of an affinity with circles. I just love to do them. Oh, that's already dry, and you can already see it coming up. I'm just going to fix that one there. Let's see if I can draw my thin line using the edge here. Not as steady. Okay. There we go. Our line's back in there. Okay, so just to give you some sort of an idea, and always put your lid back on right away, because this stuff turns dry very quickly and ends up, the whole entire thing will become almost like rubbery plastic. Okay, so that's our image so far. And then what we're going to do is we are just going to allow that to dry. So I can speed up that process by grabbing a hair dryer. Now we are ready to play with our alcohol ink. So let's just kind of have some fun with it, shall we? So I'm just going to apply some isopropyl alcohol, kind of give it a little swirl around. I'm going to add some color. Maybe a little of this Granada Brass too. Because I have to add it to everything. This and the gold are my favorites. So I'm just going to mix that all around. Let that play. Again, just like a nice wash. There we go. That's pretty. Let's add some of this color next. Again, all we're doing right here is just basically laying down a really nice pretty wash. Nothing groundbreaking, just something that is just for fun right now. These lessons are just meant for fun right now, and you can just use your finger to kind of maybe even do a little bit of mixing of the two colors together. Yeah, like right now we're just trying to have a good time, right? That's the purposes of these very first foundational base level courses or classes. Let's make a new color. There we go. Yeah. Just give it a dry. And you can play within it, pushing things around. Oh, I like that. Okay, so that's the general idea, and then all you have to do after this is completely dry is you probably want to change your gloves at this point, just so you have some nice clean fingers to work with. So I'm just going to do that. Okay, nice clean fingers, making sure everything is dry. Just going to go over it one more time. Just to be sure. And now is the fun part. So what we do here is we just rub and roll. There you go. Here's number one. Number two. You can pick that up as well. Again, clean fingers are really important for this part, otherwise you'll get some pretty funny marks and colors being transferred from one side of your painting to the next, especially with alcohol inks. And you have to make sure it's completely dry as well, otherwise the same thing happens. Rub and roll. So much fun, totally easy. I think I got two more, right? They're hiding on me. There we go. Yes, as a rule of thumb in art, you kind of do things in odd numbers. So 3s, 5s, that kind of stuff. So there you go. That is the idea of using the masking fluid. With that, you could have drawn a landscape, you could have drawn, you know, something figurative, you could have drawn anything with the masking fluid, and it would be all whited out and your color would look beautiful on top. Now I could go in with a Posca pen. You can kind of see here, just grab one out. This is a Posca pen, so if I wanted to, I could give this a good shake, and if I didn't find that my lines were clean enough, then I could easily just kind of go in and kind of fix things up. It needs to be shaken quite well. This one's almost empty, I think. Right. Depending on how potent the color is, how deep the hue is, I think this is pretty much empty. Sorry, folks. Anyway, you could color over that and it would look completely fine. So, I don't have any other white left. Looks like I gotta order that. So, that's just generally the idea, but you could go in with some either acrylic paint or a Posca pen and just really clean up all that inner area, and yeah, it would look amazing. So, I think it looks amazing now. Anyway, that's it.